welcome to The Tonight Show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching at home. After 7 months of negotiations, late Friday night, the House finally passed President Biden's infrastructure deal. Yeah, so that's obviously, that's probably what everyone was talking about this weekend.
Big Bird is causing a stir.
Big Bird announced he was getting vaccinated against COVID.
Big Bird got his COVID shot over the weekend.
Big Bird announces he's been vaccinated.
Big Bird got the jab.
Somehow that was the big story this weekend. Big Bird tweeting that he got vaccinated. It's a big day, actually, for Big Bird, because immediately after getting vaccinated, he was signed by the Green Bay Packers. So that is amazing. That's amazing to see that career. Some more COVID news today. The U.S. lifted the travel ban on vaccinated tourists for more than 30 countries. Of course, all the airports are going to be slammed. Flight attendants were like, we're going to need more duct tape. That's right, travelers are thrilled to be back. It's the first time people ever cried tears of joy at the sight of LaGuardia. That's right, New York City is expecting tens of thousands of tourists, and they're all gonna walk in front of you. 19 months for a travel ban is a long time. Your friend who left to study abroad in January 2020 actually came back speaking fluent Italian. Oh. Well, as I mentioned on Friday night, the House passed Biden's infrastructure bill. The bill took forever to pass. When it was over, they wrapped Biden in a foil marathon blanket and gave him a medal. They go, only 13 House Republicans voted for the bill, while the rest said, we think that if you're driving over a collapsed bridge, you can just speed up and you'll probably make it. You guys ever seen the documentary Fast and the Furious? Some business news. Walmart just announced that it is now using fully driverless trucks to deliver groceries to customers. Oh. It's pretty cool, actually. The driverless trucks will pick up items from Walmart and then deliver them right through your living room wall. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Walmart is the only place you'll find cutting-edge technology and also a barefoot guy buying margarita mix. I'm surprised not more packed here at 3 in the morning. Hey, I saw that, guys, restaurants are facing a shortage because of supply chain issues of takeout containers. Oh. Yeah, that'll be fun when the Uber Eats guy's like, here's your fries. You put it on your lap, or you want to... But this is a huge problem for McDonald's because they actually make McRibs out of takeout containers.
Really?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I don't know. Hey, I saw that in a recent Instagram post, Vin Diesel called Dwayne Johnson his, quote, little brother and asked him to return to the Fast and Furious franchise. Yeah. It turns out Vin Diesel also left a voicemail to follow up with him, and we actually got our hands on it.
Oh, my gosh.
You guys want to hear it? I mean, this is an exclusive. Let's take a listen. Vin Diesel.
Bro, I don't know if you saw my last post, but when we made Fast and Furious, we didn't just make a movie. We made a family, and we never walk away from family. Family isn't just who you're related to. Sometimes family is people you made a movie with a few years ago. The director is like the dad. The actors are the kids. The script is the mom. The camera is like our granddad, and we are its nephews. The snacks are the groceries. The lights are the family dog. Because if you try to pet it, you will get hurt. But the lights miss you, Dwayne. Come back.
This Olive Garden voicemail box is full. Thank you for calling Olive Garden. When you're here, you're...
Family.
All right. We got the exclusive. We got it tonight. And finally, the New York City Marathon was this weekend. Congrats to anyone who raced it. Amazing. I read that one guy ran 17 miles with an engagement ring and then proposed to his girlfriend during the race. What's more romantic than proposing next to Times Square Elmo peeing his costume? Hey, you know, it actually was very cute. They even celebrated with tiny paper cups filled with champagne. Big entertainment news, actually. The creator of Squid Game announced that season 2 is now in the works. That's right, season 1 left so many unanswered questions like, I love this show, what the hell is wrong with me? Even the creator of the Saw franchise is like, I'm not sure how much more of this we can take. Yeah, all your favorite characters will be back, like Player 456, and, well, that's about it. Everyone else... Yep, Squid Game is the most dangerous game you can play. Well, other than football with Aaron Rodgers. But, oh, fine, you huddle with him, okay? Some more entertainment news. I read that to compete with TikTok, Netflix is rolling out a feature called Kids Clips, which will show short videos from their library of children's content. Yeah. It's a Netflix version of TikTok. That's why every 3 seconds a message pops up that says, "Are you still watching?" Well, this was exciting last night. After 200 days in orbit, 4 astronauts splashed down in the Gulf of Mexico aboard a SpaceX capsule. Yep, 200 days in space. After landing, they said, we were going a little crazy up there. At one point, we looked out the window, and I swear we saw William Shatner. Wild. Of course, this SpaceX mission made headlines because the toilet on board broke, and the astronauts had to wear diapers. So when they splashed down, they really splashed down. Yeah. Meanwhile, Virgin Galactic just announced that it now has about 700 paying customers who are waiting to go to space on its commercial flights. Of course, since it's Virgin, the first trip will only last 2 minutes. That's normal for space exploration.
It really takes a while to get into space.
Get this, customers will soon be able to earn Bitcoin every time they dine at Bubba Gump Shrimp and the Rainforest Cafe. Right now, parents are like, what's Bitcoin? While kids are like, who's Bubba Gump? Hey, I saw that a man in the UK has found a new way to help people get around and make a little extra money on the side. Watch this.
It's called the Tank Taxi. Merlin Batchelor is the guy behind the wheel, and he bought that vehicle online, and now requests for rides in it are rolling in.
Right now, Merlin is only licensed to carry passengers for weddings and funerals.
Funeral?
Or I'm in a wedding. Like, who's...
Or even a wedding. But I love the people rolling up to a funeral in a tank. Like, it's what Grandpa would have wanted. He wasn't even in the service. He was like Call of Duty. Yeah. Finally, a car parked on an Italian street has become a tourist attraction because it's been in the same spot for 47 years. Meanwhile, there's a 95-year-old guy wandering the neighborhood like, I know I parked it here somewhere. It seems like there's so much going on right now. The supply chain is still causing problems. Paul Rudd was named sexiest man alive. Adele debuted a new song. And Arby's just announced 2 French fry-flavored vodkas. There's just a lot to go over, so let's just jump in and cover it all at once. It's time for a news smash. First up, the supply chain. President Biden just met with several companies like Walmart, Target, and FedEx to discuss solutions, and it's not looking great. But you know who is looking great? Paul Rudd. He was named People's Sexiest Man Alive. Good for him. He's universally beloved. He makes us all laugh. But if you prefer someone who's universally beloved and makes us all cry, there's always Adele. She just debuted a new song in an Amazon holiday commercial, and it's fantastic. The song is called Hold On, and it's all about not giving up. But if you want to give up, why not try Arby's new French fry vodka? They're releasing 2 bottles and apparently have the same flavor profile as their curly and crinkle-cut fries. I don't understand how that would even work. Speaking of things I don't understand, the supply chain. Shipping, trucking, inflation, all of it has people really stressed out, but it's gonna be okay. Just take a deep breath, pour yourself some wine, and listen to Adele. The new album drops next week. Her first album was 19. We love that. Then 21. We love that. Then 25, and now 30. We've really seen her grow up over the years. You know who hasn't grown up? Paul Rudd. I mean, look at the guy. He only gets better with age. You know what doesn't get better with age? Arby's vodka. I just don't get it. I mean, from the vodka itself to the label, all the way to the bottleneck. Everything's completely backed up, so it'll affect prices. And if you order anything online, be prepared to hold on. In conclusion, what a guy. Time to cry. Low supply. Just why? This has been a Newsfeed. Thank you. Here's some COVID news. Apparently, the U.S. government helped Moderna develop their vaccine, and now they're in a patent fight over who deserves credit for it. Yeah, even crazier, they're going to settle it with a rap battle on Versus. Meanwhile, there's also a battle over the Johnson & Johnson patent because nobody wants to take credit for it. That's the other Johnson. Some business news. YouTube just announced that it is hiding dislike counts on all videos. That's right. Now, instead of clicking thumbs down, people will just write dislike in the comments. Not for me. Yep, no more dislikes. Instead, YouTube will provide the user's home address so you can just tell them in person how much you hated their video. Yeah, dislikes are annoying. They're right up there with people who comment first. It's like, oh, it's just stop, just try. Well, the holidays are coming up, and I read that because of the tight labor market, there's actually a shortage of mall Santas. Yeah, malls are desperate to find Santas. Today, in fact, Macy's put out a bowl of whiskey outside the store like they're trying to lure a stray cat.
Wow.
Putting this bowl of whiskey out there.
For Santas.
Yeah, it's hard to recruit for the job because you can't just walk up to people like, hey, you're built like Santa Claus. You want to... That's right, no mall Santas. Instead, it'll just be an elf saying, whatever you want, it's on Amazon. Merry Christmas. Hey, get this. The Hallmark Channel is holding a baking contest, and the grand prize is a walk-on role in a Hallmark original movie. Or $5,000. Even the director of the Hallmark movie was like, take the money. Seriously, for $5,000, you could shoot your own Hallmark movie. Hey, here's some good news. The North American Meat Institute said it will reach Paris Agreement emission targets by 2030. When I heard, my first thought was, there's a North American Meat Institute? Sounds less like a real organization, more like something you'd read on a shirt of a dude at CrossFit. It's a long walk, but it's worth it. I like that joke, yeah. And finally, according to new research, the perfect time to go to bed for your heart's health is between 10 and 11 p.m. Probably explains why NBC ran a promo today that said, forget your heart and catch an all-new episode of The Tonight Show. It's Veterans Day, and tonight our entire audience is made up of veterans, active military, and military families. Please have a seat. Welcome, 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 welcome. That's right, it's just like our Fleet Week audience, but sober. All kidding aside, I want to say thank you for your service. You truly are the bravest. Thank you. I mean it. The closest most of us have come to a war zone is shopping on Black Friday at TJ Maxx. It's like, give me a tooth. It's not even my size. Yep, the only people who've seen more combat than you guys are flight attendants on Southwest. I remember telling my dad that I thought a life in uniform might be right for me. So he went out and got me a job application for Pizza Hut. Oh. Sadly, they said no. Of course, the Space Force couldn't be here tonight. They're busy. They're busy monitoring the galaxy for missiles, aliens, and our newest threat, bored billionaires. A lot of restaurants offered special deals today. Service members could get a free Bloomin' Onion at Outback, free pancakes at IHOP, and a free donut at Krispy Kreme. And if you ate all three, we have an ambulance outside standing by. Let's get to some news. This Postmaster General just said that the U.S. Postal Service is ready for the holiday package rush. Unfortunately, the holiday they're talking about is July 4th, but still, they're ready. That's right, the post office is prepared, meaning they've prepared hundreds of signs that say, next window, please. That's right, they said that they're ready for the rush. Although I don't know how I feel about the new slogan, United States Postal Service, we can handle your package. You can't say that.
Why would you say that?
You can't say that anymore. You can't say that.
Package.
Some business news, the tuna lawsuit against Subway sandwiches is back. Yeah, and now they're saying that the tuna contains chicken, pork, and cattle DNA. Even crazier, when they tested Subway's chicken and pork, they found it's 100% tuna.
Really?
Yep, chicken, pork, and cattle DNA. Right now, Subway's thinking, all things considered, not bad. They're all meats, right? Yep, Subway's like, what do you want from us? It's fish served with an ice cream scoop. Come on, what do you want? Not like Morimoto's sharpening his knives back there, cutting it up. Well, I read that the CEO of Royal Caribbean said that the company is seeing historically strong bookings for cruises next summer. Right now, members of the Coast Guard and Navy are looking at each other like, so you guys gonna handle this, or should we? Meanwhile, Carnival Cruises still hasn't let people off the boats from March 2020. Not looking good. More tuna! That's right, Royal Caribbean said it's expecting record profits, and then the CEO of Imodium was like, same here. Some airline news. The FAA has proposed more than $200,000 in fines for 10 unruly passengers. Yeah. And this is nice. Starting today, if you're flying from Florida, they ask if you want to prepay your fine. No, hold my Four Loko. That's unbelievable. Get this, I read that a new survey found that 80% of Americans use slang words, but only half know what the slang terms they use actually mean. These aren't great numbers, so I thought it'd help everyone brush up on their slang definitions with a tiny song. Acting extra means over the top. Spill the tea means you should share the goss. Receipts are proof if you seem sus. Sus is short, suspicious. Gucci's cool and Flex is showing off. Curves is when you ignore a flirty text. No cap means for real, we move means yes. Simp means when you like someone but do too much for them. And simps are almost stands but just not... Dang! Sorry. All right, let me do it one more time. Can I do it one more time? Whew! All right, I'm close. Yeah, don't waste your time clapping, because who knows how many takes I got to do this. I'm exhausted.
Don't let your hands.
You'd be asleep by the time. Yeah, here we go.
My hands are numb.
Oh, here we go. Grab it. Oh, yeah. Acting extra. Oh. I thought I was having a stroke. I didn't know what was happening. Oh. I had IHOP pancakes. I had a Krispy Kreme. All right, here we go. Let me explain. Acting extra. Nope. Sorry, bud. Acting extra. Yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. Ready? Set, ready. Acting extra means over the top. Spill the tea means you should share the goss. Receipts are proof if you seem sus. Sus is short for suspicious. Gucci's cool and Flex is showing off. You don't have to be silent either. I mean, a funeral, for God's sake. Someone died. Jesus. I was hearing tapping from the 10th floor. Gosh.
You said don't clap.
I did say no clap, yeah. Why would I say
Do
no
what you
clap?
told
Why
him
would I
to
tell
do.
someone not to
You said
clap?
clapping.
Yeah. Clap, do
You
whatever
didn't
want
say
to
laugh.
do. I could hear someone chewing gum. That was so quiet. And it was offbeat, too. That was the worst part. All right, I'm going to get this now. Acting extra means over the top. Spill the tea means you should share the goss. Receipts are proof if you seem sus. Sus is short for suspicious. Gucci's cool and Flex is showing off. Curves when you ignore a flirty text. No cap means for real, we move means yes. Simping's when you like someone but do too much for them. And simps are almost stands but not quite yet. Slept on means something deserves more heat. And if you want to say woohoo, say yeet. So now you know the slang to drop the next time that you speak. These all will be outdated by next week. Thank you. That's it, that. Thank you very much for being so patient. Finally, a man in France set a world record for standing on top of a hot air balloon nearly 12,000 feet in the sky. Check this out. The only thing more dangerous is eating the tuna at Subway. When he came back down, he was like, yeah, still no signal. Well, guys, everybody's talking about this. Today, Taylor Swift released her re-recorded album, Red, Taylor's version. That's right, Taylor has done the impossible. She's released a variant that the world is actually excited about. Yeah, all of Taylor's re-releases have been huge hits, and everyone's taking note. Today, Johnson & Johnson tried to relaunch as Johnson & Johnson, Johnson's version. But speaking of Johnson & Johnson, they're actually splitting up. Ooh. In a good way, but yeah, they just announced they're breaking the two separate companies, the consumer side and the pharmaceutical side. Meanwhile, their kids were like, yay, 2 Christmases. People figured they were gonna break up when Johnson unfollowed Johnson on Instagram. That's right, one of the companies will just focus on products like Band-Aids, Tylenol, and baby powder. In other words, one company will just keep decorating your grandpa's sink. Some more business news. Due to the labor shortage this year, companies across North America have ordered a record number of robots. Ooh, seems fine inside a warehouse, but really weird at your kid's daycare. Give us the baby. Sounds like the next time you're at Applebee's, the hostess will just be a stack of menus on top of a Roomba. Yeah, the robots are so lifelike that they even hit up their human coworkers to buy Girl Scout cookies from their robot kids. Oh. It's that time of year again. Shelly 459 wants to go to Costa Rica with her friends. Not saying anything, but Bob bought 10 boxes. Anyway, you do what you can. Some TV news. This Sunday, CBS is airing a 2-hour special called Adele One Night Only. Ooh. I can't wait till a friend calls me in the middle of it. I'm like, just watching football. Just watching. Go to Mahomes, pass it to Gronk. I'll call you later. Well, this is interesting. I read that Americans are ditching knockoff brands and returning to recognizable big-name brands. But I'm not sure if I trust the story because I read about it in Tim magazine.